So today I'm going to go over flamenco arms and hands. So I might split this up into two. We'll see. Let's just, I'm just going to start. Okay. So, flamenco hands. Let's start there. So what you want to do when you're thinking about the hands, why am I so far away? You want to think about the hands being an expression of your heart. The arms, you want to think of the arms as an extension of the heart, and the hands as an expression of that. To some degree, the hands may denote also a rhythmic change or an accent. But my hand will come in counter. Right? Could you end with the hand at the same time as your whatever it is that you're doing ends? Yes. Absolutely. But you don't always want to think of it that way. You want to sometimes think about the hands working almost in counter to the rest of the body, or just in their own time signature, shall we say. And they're kind of, the way I say it is this. From the waist down, your legs are maintaining the beat as if they were in the military. Boom, 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 boom. You do not want to be hesitant or fuzzy with how you're expressing the rhythm with your legs and, of course, with your feet. With your hands, it's kind of like they had a couple martinis. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the feet could be very tum pakatum tum pakatum tum pakatum tum pakatum tum. The arms don't have to do that. They don't have to go tum takatum tum takatum tum takatum tum. No. The arms are free. And the hands on top of that are enjoying that freedom. Okay? So, that's my little spiel so that you're not too worried about the time, how your hands are moving or whether they're going in first or out first. Who cares? All right? That being said, now we have to discuss the actual technique of the handwork. So I'm going to talk in the masculine and the feminine, knowing that both are, the masculine can be attributed to a woman and the feminine can be attributed to a man. Okay? They don't have to be masculine for men, feminine for women. No. We both use both types of hands. So as a woman, I tend to use the male or the masculine way of using my hands 40% of the time. Aquí, 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 y aquí. As a man, you will use the feminine way of using your hands. I don't know, sometimes 20, 30%. Entonces el hombre de repente también usa la mano de esta manera. Not always. Right? Not as often as we use the more masculine hand, but still. So both genders have to understand both ways of using the hand. So I'm going to start with the feminine and then I'm going to move to the masculine. So for the feminine hand, there's many different ways, right? The traditional has been using your middle finger to initiate the turn. Right now I'm doing inside turns because it's towards my body. If I do an outside turn, I initiate away from my body. Again, outward circles, initiating with the middle finger. It is also traditional or common to see people do half moons. Half in, half out. Half in, half out. Half in, half out. Okay, that's valid. The way I like to work is in full circles. I like entire circles so that you get that full rotation of the wrist, okay? So, it doesn't mean the other isn't valid, it's just that I much prefer to have a full rotation, and then when it's time to switch, then I do the half rotation, as opposed to always going half and half and you never get a nice full rotation out of that wrist. Now comes the fingers. So, the most traditional way, the way I learned when I was first starting out was engage with that middle finger. When I got to Spain, I saw that it was just as common, if not more so, to engage with the pinky and fan. So there was a fan going in, and then everyone sort of anchors here, sort of in the okay sign, and then fan out. And then relax. Fan in, fan out. Fan in, fan out. Fan in, fan out. Fan in, fan out. Other side, fan out. Again, engaging with the pinky. So the pinky is the finger that initiates the fan. Ba, ba, boom, boom, boom. One thing to keep in mind, I have big hands. I can palm my own face with my hands. So, I was surrounded by people who had these beautiful little dainty hands, and they used them in a beautiful little dainty way. And then I would show up with my big old hands, and it just, it looked very out of control. So those of you who have big, beautiful hands, make sure that you're aware of the finger placement and that you're allowing those fingers to have a softness and a sort of a roundness to them, or an ocean-like movement or quality to them, as opposed to, you want to stay away from this, no stiff, weird, people, sometimes I see people doing this type of jerky hand movement. No, smooth, and really use that wrist all the way. You don't want to just use here. Really use the wrist all the way. The other thing that you want to look for when you're using your hands is that they don't stop, right? So you'll be doing something and suddenly the hands will stop. No, keep that rotation going the whole time. Nice and smooth, nice and smooth. When it's time to switch, then go ahead and switch. Ba, ba, ba. And keep those fingers working, but gentle, soft, not stiff. The way my first teacher told me, no antler hands. Okay? There's a play in the digits that's similar to a wave. Okay? So that's the traditional hand. Either middle finger in, middle finger out, or fan in, fan out, or fan out. Okay? The other way we use our hand is here. Toma. Toma. This is sort of reminiscent of Lola Flores, that type of artist where, asa, right? So it's just a flutter. It's like a fluttering of the fingers. Super fun. Another way can be here. Boom. Hey, right? So that can be a hand movement in flamenco, not as common as our wrist rotation, but you will see that. For the snapping, I'm constantly being asked this. When I'm snapping, I don't snap and then leave my fingers closed. I open again. See how the minute I snap, bah, I go back to an open position. That's how I get that look. Right? The other thing that happens a lot of times is people try and snap with their index finger. No. I use my middle finger, and no, I am not snapping two fingers at the same time. I'm not going, no, it's just one. But when you pair this with your feet, that's how you get that rolling sound. All right, so it's sort of it's an illusion. It sounds like you're doing all these sounds with your snapping, and you're not. It's boom, boom. That's it. Okay? So that's one. The other is the masculine way of moving the hands. So there's many. However, two of the most staple ways is a closed hand. So it's here. You don't do this, the fan anymore. Now you just scoop in with the whole hand and outward. Scooping. Next, we have the two fingers. But this one's really fun. Boom, right? Again, in, using that index finger and the middle finger to scoop in or out. You can use this, boom, all sorts of ways. It's a beautiful hand, beautiful way of using your hands. Okay? Attributed more to the masculine, but again, the women are basically 60-40. You're constantly using all the hand, all the different hand types. And as men, you're venturing into the feminine quite often. Okay, so here we go. That's the use of the hands. That's just like your introduction to the use of the hands. Now I'm going to go through the actual hand exercises. So let's stop the video here, and then we'll go into the hand exercises in the next video.